You can see the impact of inflation most clearly these days at the grocery store. But you can also see it at food banks, where people who never dreamed they'd need it are turning for help. Even some with six-figure incomes are struggling to feed their families. Mark Strassman has tonight's Eye on America from Wallingford, Connecticut.
Forget the image you may have of people who are hungry. In America, hunger is now as mobile as this food bag serving a line.
Connecticut. That's number one. Pay attention to that. Connecticut. We'll keep going.
60 deep in Connecticut.
Being under financial stress takes a lot of time, a lot of planning. Sometimes
take Chandra Kelsey, grocery shopping on a tight budget for her family of 5.
It's whatever's on sale.
Food insecurity eats at her, a lifelong trauma.
You remember going to food banks?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like?
The first time I did it, I cried. To be in a position where you are doing okay and then you lose everything the next day, it's humbling. It's scary.
And yet you'd never suspect Need has lived with his family.
Household income is roughly?
$150, 2 people working full-time. Sometimes I work 2 jobs.
How can you make $150,000 and be food insecure?
That's not what you bring home after taxes. You know, we have mortgage, insurance. We've got 1 kid on their way to college, 1 in college. Something as small as, $1,000 expense could throw things off significantly. This one's crazy looking.
On and off for a decade, Kelsey has relied on help from Connecticut Food Share, the state's largest.
On and off for a decade.
Food bank. She and 2 of her children now give back by volunteering here. All this food, and it's still not enough. Nationally, more than 50 million people need help getting food from charities like this one. Here in Connecticut, that's 1 in 8 people.
They're your neighbor, they're your friend, they could be your family.
Jason Jakubowski, Connecticut Food Share CEO, told us demand for their food jumped 23% last year. He expects another double-digit increase this year.
Are you seeing more people with higher incomes who need your help?
100%. Many of them come to us and say, I donated to you for years, and I never in a million years thought I would have to use this service.
What has changed?
A lot of economic unpredictability. They're scared about their cost of living is going to go up to. They're scared about what the price of eggs is going to be.
Chandra Kelsey's scared about her job. She works as a program director at the Yale School of Public Health and worries about continued government funding of universities such as hers.
We are trying to be very cognizant that it could be around the corner.
And in its own way, Connecticut Food Share is feeling food insecure. Government DOGE cuts last month slashed nearly $2 million from its food budget.
How do you replace that?
We don't. That's the problem.
Is there any hope here?
We still live in America. People always step up to the plate. There may not be enough food, but we're going to keep doing whatever we can to try to provide.
Provided to more families who never suspected their new worry is their next meal. For Eye on America, I'm Mark Strassman in Wallingford, Connecticut.
Number one, let's start off with where she lives. Connecticut is a very expensive place. Connecticut's real estate is very expensive. The average person in Connecticut makes $92,000. That's just the average person, right? She makes $150,000. Her and her husband bring in $150,000 a year. And when the guy asked her, she kind of seemed a little bit, I would say a little bit mad. Like, that's not how much we make, though. With tax, I think she's bringing in $100,000, depending on how many kids that she lives with or she has. So, $100K. That's $8,500 a month. $8,500 a month. Right? Another thing was, she's been relying on it on and off for a decade. So the reliance is something that she's always going to run to. Because if you tell yourself you're not going to rely on it, even though you are more privileged than the average American, right, who makes $50,000 a year, right, who is struggling themselves with children that cannot have a good job or who's laid off at the moment, right? So it's just, to me, like, there's just no accountability to change. And you have 5 kids, one is in college and one is about to go to college. There's nothing wrong with community college. There's nothing wrong with downsizing. There's nothing wrong with getting rid of the house that you guys live in, right? And on top of that, you guys are in the food drive every day or at the food drive. When do you have time to cook if you guys are both working and you do 2 jobs? So that tells me that you guys are also relying on, you know, your paycheck to fund, not living below your means. You guys are eating out because you're tired. Trust me, when you get home from work, you're tired. You got so much that you've already done. You're so gassed. You're so exhausted. You're so mentally, fatigued and physically and emotionally that you just have to take the kids out to eat. That's something that is not being talked about, right? The property insurance in Connecticut is pretty expensive. Not to mention the car payments that they have, right? Not to mention the 401ks that they're probably, is taken out of their check. So when all these things start to add up, it starts to really eat at your check to a point where you're negative. And she said that $1,000 is not enough for an emergency expense. I mean, that's better than most Americans, though, right? And this is no comparison, because comparison is a thief of joy. I really want her to be in a better position, okay? My financial stability is what's important to me. Like, my freedom is what's important to me. And I feel like if a lot of people had that mindset, or, the keeping up with the Jonases and trying to do everything to please other people that truly don't really care about you to begin with, right? You would live a better life. Cutting down, taking sacrifices, living below your means, getting rid of the cars, right? Downsizing. Like, there's a lot of seniors that are in positions that don't make enough, that can rely on the food drive that Chandra is in, that is taken away from a slot that somebody else that does need it, that doesn't make enough, or is living poverty wages, or is in the poverty wage or poverty line, right? So I'm just so confused at how much $8,500 is. Context matters. And Chandra's not the only person that's living like this. A lot of Americans are living this way. I think 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Right? We have inflation. We have high cost of living. We have stagnant wages. We have property taxes. We have taxes in general. Right? It's just a bad time to be in. And she's not the only one. A lot of people are living this way. And I don't want to blabber on for too long, but context matters. A lot of people are on social media. There's thousands and millions of videos of people that are saying, I'm living this way, and this is my life, and this is how I'm living. But there's no context on the lifestyle. You need to cut back. And also remember too, like, what you don't change, you choose. What you don't change, you choose. So if you don't change, downsizing, getting rid of the car payments, getting rid of credit card debt, getting rid of, things that are holding you back, bad debt, bad financial mindsets, it can really, really eat at any level of your life. With any financial situation you make, if you don't have the right mindset, everything else will crumble. I hope, Chandra and her family can survive this. And, she unfortunately doesn't lose her job. And, they can figure this out and make certain cutbacks and certain decisions, and, to better live a better life financially, and to live a better, more financially free life. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have a video that you guys want me to react to, please send me the link, or DM me the link, or just comment down below. And also let me know what you guys think. Give your comments down below on your 2 cents or anything that you have to say down low. Thank you guys. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next video.